Today on the big show, we are going to debate technicians, hourly or flat rate. It's a pretty interesting conversation.
Hot topic.
Also, we're going to talk about people opening my mail and why that pisses me off. Some interesting things in the news, and Christian tells a couple jokes. But he interrupts, so you got to kind of be ready for it. Two of them are funny, and one I still don't get. But that and much, much more coming up on this edition of Service Drive Revolution. So this is a big moment, Christian, our first show in the new digs.
I'm excited. I love it here.
Yeah. We've had a lot of obstacles, a lot of, we did one earlier than this with our buddies Jeremy and Adam, and then Adam called me after and he's like, "Are you okay, bro?"
he's sending a shrink over.
Yeah. In our new building, the air conditioning doesn't work. There's construction going on. Everything is everywhere, but this gives us a little normalcy that we're doing a little SDR.
It's so
feels
nice.
normal.
It's a break.
The question that I have for you, my friend, is how do you feel when other people open your mail?
So I have a rule in my household that no one touches my mail but me.
Do people open your mail here at the company? Do you ever get mail here?
Yes.
Do people open it?
No.
Oh, well, let me tell you what happens to my mail.
Let's hear it.
It gets opened.
Oh.
If it's addressed to me. Now, I'm sure some of the confusion is that the name of the company is me.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variance there.
But you could, with a relatively low education, know the difference between Chris Collins and Chris Collins Inc. So if you look at this, does this say Chris Collins Inc. or does it say Chris Collins?
Let me check.
It says Chris Collins. Right here, go ahead, look. If you guys are listening to this, I have an envelope from a company called In Momentum, but come to find out, upon my research, my mail has been getting opened and I never see it. So how do you think I came across this piece of mail? Do you think somebody said, "Oh, Chris, you got mail"?
No.
No, they said, "Oh, we got this great idea for a bit on SDR." And had it not been a bit on SDR, I would have never got my mail.
Yeah, so it's just not the bit that anyone thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, because, yeah, whatever. I got to figure out how to fix that. But, side note, this envelope had a CSI survey from my purchase of my Range Rover.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to me, the questions that they ask in here. There's definitely some deep understanding of psychology going on in the way this is.
So they paid a lot of money to have that thing created.
Yeah, they're outsourcing it to a company called In Moment.
In Moment? Never heard of them. I like it.
Yeah. And so let me go through some of the questions. I want you to help me answer this before we get to the topic today on text hourly or flat rate, which will be very controversial, I feel.
Can't wait.
Less controversial than people opening my mail. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting questions, but question number 8 I thought was interesting. Please indicate the frequency with which you use your new vehicle for the following activities.
Okay.
And this is no joke. I'm really reading what it says. I'm not making this up.
Do you want me to answer these?
You're going to help me answer them.
All right, I'll do my best.
Because I'm not sure, like, you probably know me better than I know myself. So, A, going to and from work. So, please indicate the frequency in which you use the new vehicle for the following activities. There's A through P.
Okay, and then should we be like 5 times per week?
The thing is like 5 is almost daily, 4 is at least weekly, 3 is at least monthly, 2 is less than monthly, and 1 is never.
Perfect, I've got it all. Let's start over. The first question is about work.
Going to and from work. So
5.
That's almost daily. Shopping and errands. Never.
2.
Never.
Because sometimes you pick stuff up with Winston that you can't pick up in Clyde.
But not me. I'm not doing that.
Okay, fair.
For business.
3.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Okay, so D, hunting and fishing.
5.
Daily?
At least.
Okay, we're sending them the right message. Good thing we're not doing this under oath.
Under penalty of perjury.
E, listen to this. Pleasure driving. How sexy is that?
Super sexy.
Pleasure driving.
For your pleasure.
If I said, hey, go take Winston on a pleasure drive, what would come to mind? Don't say that.
Oh, I was going to say Vegas.
This is a family show, Christian. F, by student for school transportation. Never.
Yep.
Driving children around. Never. So there's one thing here that I like is carrying pets. You know, probably weekly, I would say the Bulldogs are in there.
So that's a solid 4.
I mean, the Bulldogs had a big influence on why I got a Range Rover because they're English. Winston Churchill had a Bulldog. Range Rovers were English at one time. I don't think they are anymore, but they're still made there.
It's good space for the dog.
Vacation or long trips? Never.
Okay.
For motor sports or performance driving?
Never.
Camping?
Never.
Have these people not heard that they invented a thing called hotels?
Not yet.
There's no camping, kids. Okay, then this one is interesting. So this is 8C. So that was 8A. 8B is write the letter from the one item above that you use your vehicle for most often. Well, that'd be A, going to and from work. Okay, 8C, please indicate the frequency of which you use your new vehicle for the following. Driving alone.
Oh, 5.
Carrying a passenger. So the thing is on here they don't have dogs. So in the previous one they have pets, but then, you know, I'm not going to answer that if you're going to not include dogs.
The dog question was just to get you to fill out the rest?
Might as well say cats.
Oh.
Ugh, it's crazy. Then it's just mind-boggling. Like, so, this is like, please rate your satisfaction with each of the features of your new vehicle. Styling. It's like, I don't know, what is that? 50 questions on 2 pages each? It's probably 100 questions.
76.
Yeah, so we're not going to go through those. Did you purchase an extended warranty? No. All this. So there were a couple on here that I thought were funny. How many weeks did you spend shopping for your vehicle? Probably, 2 months?
Yeah.
How many dealer showrooms did you visit? 2?
2.
2. This is a lot of work. By the way, you guys, you have a chance to win $10,000 if you fill this out.
And you'd almost have to pay me $10,000 to fill that out.
I don't think I'll be a winner, but I don't know. Who knows?
It's literally a couple of 100 questions, though.
And it is. It says, it's more than that. It says, approximately how long until your household will acquire its next vehicle?
Yeah.
Well, when the new Range Rover has been out long enough that they got some of the bugs worked out, maybe.
Right.
Does
it say anything about eating habits in there?
Eating habits?
Yeah.
No.
No, because I was thinking about going to a diet.
Is this a segue?
Yeah, it might be. I was going to do a diet of all almonds, but that'd be just nuts.
Oh, really? A nut joke? It's low.
But it's not low-hanging
Reduced
fruit.
to that?
Oh, I've got lower.
Okay, then it wants to know like how much money you make, if you're married or not. It wants to know if you're heterosexual, lesbian, bisexual, other, or decline to answer.
I like other.
It wants to know your education, how much you make, your race, how would you classify yourself?
You can pick?
The language. Yeah, so it says African American, Caucasian, Native American, Hispanic, Asian, Arabic, or other. I'm clearly Hispanic.
Can you select other?
You could, but I wouldn't. I'd put Hispanic.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting. I don't know. Should I do it?
I think it's...
The bigger problem is I'm not getting my mail, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to put the hard rules down.
I don't like it.
There's something very violating about getting your mail opened. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's weird that people take that, that becomes normal.
Yeah.
What do you think goes through somebody's head?
I think they're trying to save you the time of doing what they consider to be a minor task. But you know what's funny is very interesting. Everyone I worked with that successful owners of businesses, they always open their mail.
Yeah, no, it drives me crazy that I don't sign all the checks around here. Like people, like we're wiring money and stuff. It's so funny. Like I've given friends advice about that, and then they get embezzled, and then I end up doing the thing that I tell other people not to do. What does that say about me? Lazy?
No,
It's lazy.
I don't know. I think that
It's lazy. Go ahead.
No.
Just say it.
As you scale, I mean, I don't think that I don't think Elon's signing every check.
Maybe he is. We don't know.
I wish to ask him.
I know a lot of pretty successful people that would be in the billionaire category that sign checks. I know a couple people in that category that would tell you that you need to sign checks. Why do you think you should sign checks? Like, what advice do you think they give in that situation?
Because
what's the lesson?
It's your business, and you need to know what's going on.
What better way is there to know what's going on than to sign checks?
I don't disagree with that logic.
It's like you're putting your finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Meanwhile, I barely sign a check. But the problem there is I travel sometimes. So what we should do is eliminate travel. If I don't travel anymore, I can sign checks. And I would love both of those things. I enjoy signing checks, and I don't enjoy traveling.
Right. And here's the irony of this whole thing is who determines whether or not you travel and who determines whether or not you sign checks?
Is this another one of your segues?
No. You are the one that's traveling.
Is this a nut joke?
No, it's not even a joke. I'm just saying you just got to flip it.
So don't travel?
Don't travel, sign your checks.
Yeah, well, sometimes I have to, sometimes it's better if I travel.
Or we come up with an office that people will come to us at.
We're doing that. That's why we're here.
Yes, sir.
The whole intention of that.
How do you like how I segued that?
Yeah. Okay. You want to do the news?
So I'm a little bit nostalgic about this first article. And I think that I'm going to do my best to describe what this thing looks like. But if you're watching on YouTube, there's going to be some pictures that our fantastic editing team is going to put in there. But did you know that DeLorean Motor Company is coming out with a new car called the Alpha 5?
You know that I did know that? You know how I knew?
I don't.
I was the one that sent you the article.
Oh, that's right. At 4 a.m. It was so good.
Was it 4 a.m?
It was pretty early.
I've been getting up early.
But
I think it looks incredible. It looks super sexy.
Yeah. So the 80s DeLorean, I don't think was a sexy car. This thing.
For the time.
Yeah, I mean.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, but it really looked like a metal,
Isn't there a certain thing about that car that kind of reminds you of that time in your life of Back to the Future?
100%. That's the nostalgia part.
Moving tons of kilos of blow across the border.
Right, but literally it looked like a Pontiac Fiero.
Isn't that what he's doing? He's putting blow in the cars and then shipping
that's how
them?
it runs.
Yeah. By the way, blow is slang for cocaine.
Yeah, that's right. So cocaine, huge with the DeLorean of old. With the new one, it's Molly. But
Molly?
Yeah, isn't that the drug of today? Isn't that what all the kids are doing these days?
Do you really think that you're the one to give people the news on drugs? The guy that doesn't even drink?
That was a fun
I was trying to make a joke earlier, you guys, about I won't even talk about what I was ranting about.
It was good though.
Yeah, but I said I feel like something to the effect of I should start doing heroin and you should start drinking.
Just that's the jump.
Yeah, me doing heroin and you drinking are
same
equivalent
thing.
But you don't drink, so
no. Every once in a while.
I don't know that you should be giving advice on Molly, but I've never tried Molly or any of that. So
fair. But at any rate, back to the car. So it is that classic DeLorean door where it's I don't remember what they call those,
wing? Gull wing?
Thank you. Something wing door. And it's got a beautiful set of wheels on there. They're like these, I don't know, let's call them like a 20 or 30 spoke looking wheel. The back end is completely encompassed by the brake lights. And this is just like a beautiful silver color, but it's got a very, I would say almost like a Ferrari feel to it. And it just looks beautiful. I think this thing is really awesome. It is, looks like it's coming out as an EV. Gull wing, yeah, now I see it. But the top of it is probably my favorite.
You got to describe that for everybody listening.
So it's got like the back end. I don't remember if that was called fastback or not, but like I remember old Mustangs used to have a thing where it was like the back window had kind of like little fins in it. And it's just really, really sleek. So good luck, DeLorean. I really think so. It's the kids.
Would you be a candidate for that? Does it say how much it is?
No, so let me look and see what it is. It might be a little out of my price range. And it goes 155 miles an hour. I see that. So I don't see a price in here, but let's say it's probably six figures would be my guess. But it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. So that's the new news is that DeLorean's releasing a new car. And then here's another really interesting part of news. I like doing that. Is that the 2023 Acura Integra is the brand's final gasoline car.
What year?
2023. So the new Integra.
Everything's electric after that?
Everything is electric after that.
Holy cow, we better embrace this electric.
Yeah, it says the nostalgia-infused Integra will apparently go down in history.
That's what I love about the Range Rover is the gas mileage.
What are you getting, 5, 6?
I don't know. It's like $150 to fill it up. I know that.
Is it? Yeah, I just put gas in my car for the first time the other day. It was different.
You just don't care about the environment, do you?
No, it's like I felt like
burn it all down. That's Christian's motto.
I was going too far with having an electric car. I'm like, no, I can't.
Give them Molly and burn it down.
Yeah, let's do it fast. But yeah, so no more gas engines out of the Acura lineup is what it looks like. Man, things are a-changing. The winds have changed. They're in the air. Also, the other day, I was out and I decided to go see a psychic because you know how I feel about psychics. But
how do you feel about psychics?
Love them to death.
Love them?
Yeah, everything they say happens. But I went up to the psychic's door and I knocked. The psychic's like, "Who is it?" So I left.
What was the joke you told that nobody, a couple people didn't get it? Was that at the coaching meeting? They didn't get it. Wasn't it Roger or somebody who said...
Somebody got it like way later.
They got it the next day? Yeah. What was the joke? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It was a pretty simple joke.
Oh, gosh. It's the joke we can't tell on the air.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
At the coaching meeting, I asked Christian reluctantly to tell the joke that I wouldn't let him tell on the show, and he told it, and then some of the people the next day were like, "You know, I didn't get that joke until later." It's pretty funny. Now, when we talk about this, I think we should expand our horizons in the sense that we should talk about truck, car, boats, everything, because I think that it is different. And so we are hearing over and over again that there's a trend in the industry and a push towards shops that are flat rate to go hourly way more than there is shops that are hourly to go flat rate.
Very much so.
And so the feeling, I think, from a lot of technicians is that they have the skill, they have the tools, right? The expertise, and they don't feel like they should be measured as much on production.
Some, yeah.
Now, there can be situations there where the place that they work, the work isn't dispatched or there isn't enough work. So there probably are situations where that's a legitimate concern from a technician, right?
Yeah, I would. It's definitely more of an outlier to me from what we see.
But I'm trying to take into consideration every side of this coin.
I respect that.
Understanding that a lot of people listening to this are going to say that. We're going to see that in the comments, right? So, it does happen. There probably is a case for that. What I know is that the best technicians I've ever hired in the interview are more concerned about how the work is dispatched, where the keys are kept, what parts is like, because they already in their head are trying to figure out how many hours they can flag, than entitlement, guarantees, a safety net.
Yeah, definitely the right questions to ask is what I would say.
You can tell. And so would you, if you were hiring a technician, would you want a technician that was concerned about production versus a technician that was entitled and it was all on the company to provide his efficiency, basically? Like if very little responsibility falls on the tech, it falls on the company, the environment.
Well, I one up you too, also the technician that's concerned about advisor performance. So my favorite is the technician that asks to see the advisor numbers when they do an interview.
Yeah. Which again,
it's about
somebody
how many
that's
hours,
thinking about
yep,
performance.
How many hours can they get out of one ticket?
Yeah. And also, I have seen technicians that are less concerned about their hourly rate in the sense that they might take $2 less to be in an environment that they can flag more.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to catch that up.
Yeah. And so in our industry, the thing that we keep seeing when we're looking at financials and shops is when you get to figuring out their cost of labor, like how much does it cost to produce an hour of labor? In just about every situation where the shop is hourly, the cost of labor is 30 to 50% more than what is perceived by the people working there. And so in a sense, let's just say that we have an hourly technician that is making $25 an hour and they are 50% efficient. So it takes them 2 hours to flag 1 hour of labor. What does it cost me for that technician?
$50 an hour.
And then my question would be, could we hire a flat rate tech for 35 or 40 and have somebody that's vested?
Yes.
The other thing that happens, and I've only found this out by going into a shop that's hourly and throwing in a couple flat rate techs. So if you take a shop and let's say you have 12 technicians that are all hourly in a shop, and let's just say your efficiency is 70%. So they're doing okay, they're 70% efficient. And I take a couple of those guys that in the interview are asking, where's the keyboard? Can I see the advisor's numbers? And they're just thinking about, point me to the stall and let me get to work. They want to flag some hours. You throw them into that environment. What do you think becomes very apparent?
That production's the way to get to the top.
I don't disagree with that, but I have another experience a little different than that, is that in an environment where the technicians are hourly, there's usually about 25% shrinkage in free diagnosis, advisors having them do work that they're not getting paid for.
That's good.
They're not writing good enough stories if there's warranty involved because they're not vested in the outcome, and they don't care if an advisor has them do something and the company gets paid or not. It doesn't really matter. They're not connected. It's way harder for an advisor to give time away when the tech's like, hey, you got to flag me for that, and they got to put it on the RO and they got to flag them. It's way harder for them to, give away a little bit from the till when the technician is vested in what is flagged and their performance. And so you don't just see it in the cost of labor, you also see it in the shrinkage of the advisors, the warranty administrator, whatever, not being able to claim as much or sell as much because there's shrinkage. You can give it away and there's no accountability in there.
Yeah, so
you could give diagnosis away, you could give warranty away, it wouldn't matter.
Right, so an RO that should have $400 on it really has $300 on it because no one's checking. No one's double checking the work.
Yeah, because something that the book says should pay 3 hours, the advisor can give 2, the technician doesn't really care.
Yeah, because the advisor thinks that the reason the customer buys is price.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so then the other thing that you see, and I've seen this with shops, is they counter this, but I would question if all of this really is worth it in the end. Is what they will do is they'll say, we'll guarantee you 40 hours a week to get technicians in because they're struggling to get technicians in. Then they will put a minimum requirement in place that if you don't flag 38 hours or whatever it is, you're fired or they let you go. What happens is you build a culture of people just getting by, or you end up getting rid of some techs, so you have a lot of turnover. And I think that you would hire different technicians if that wasn't your business model. You would hire technicians that actually are going to flag. You'd be better off paying a little bit more for techs that are flat rate that are going to flag than having technicians that want the guarantee that you have to get rid of every once in a while because they're not hitting the minimum requirement. And if you don't have a minimum requirement, usually most of the time you're not making money and your cost of labor is pretty high.
There's no doubt.
It's costing you twice as much to produce an hour of labor than what you think, and you have shrinkage.
Yeah. So you think of the guarantee then more as for a technician that's usually producing really well, it's a get out of jail free card for the slow week. The 1 or 2 per year maybe that happen, I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and so then the question would be, and this is the question that I would ask everybody listening to this, that I think about a lot, is that you have two types of technicians out there. I mean, we could throw technicians into 2 buckets. This clearly is a generalization. So sure, people fall in the middle. Sure, there's extremes. But as a generalization, you'd have 2 buckets. You'd have the technicians that want to be tied to production and they want to be able to make more money if they produce more. They like being vested in the outcome.
Right.
And then you have a group of technicians that don't want to be vested in the income and really could really care less about the production, or maybe they understand fundamentally that there has to be a degree of production, but they don't want to be tied to it. They're not emotionally connected to it. They certainly don't want their pay tied to it. In a world where technicians are in such high demand, which group is going to win? Because one of the 2 groups is going to kind of set the tone in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And what are we as an industry going to allow? Like, how far into the entitlement and complacency are we going to go before we're not profitable anymore and we're just allowing complacency?
Yeah, I think the big thing would be in, the leverage part of that whole thing is how good are you at recruiting and growing? And the better you are at both of those things, the more accurate your pay will be. I think that at the end of the day, it's managing from a point of strength.
The other question is, a lot of these technicians go and work for the electric companies like Tesla or whatever, and in those situations, they're hourly and they're not flagging.
That's right.
But would you not agree that sooner or later, that's going to flip?
Yeah, the model has to work.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, when the business sees that it's not successful, they have to make changes regardless of what was promised to get them in the door.
Eventually, that's a line on the P&L they're going to start looking at.
That's exactly right. I agree.
And so in every scenario I believe that the techs being vested and having an element of flat rate is the way to go.
Yeah.
But it's very rare in trucking.
Yeah, so can you think of a situation where the hourly works in the trucking side?
I think there are situations where there are managers and leaders that are really on it and they have an element of accountability that they're running close to 90%. I don't think we've ever seen one at 100% efficient.
Not real efficiency. Like I've seen reports that have had stores over.
We should clarify that in truck, efficiency is different than in car.
Yeah, it's the opposite of
So
productivity.
productivity or proficiency, efficiency. But for the sake of this conversation, what we're talking about is if you work an 8-hour day, do you bill 8 hours in labor? Not how long you're clocked on an RO, because that's
right.
secondary and less relevant to money in the till. And so, yeah, we don't usually see that very high, but there are some managers, some service managers and foremans out there that run a pretty tight ship. They still aren't achieving 100%, but they don't have the 50% where their labor cost them twice as much as they think.
Yeah.
But it is priceless when you show some managers or, anybody in our industry, when you do the math on their shop and you show them that their cost of labor is twice what they think. So in their head, they're like, well, my average tech's making 30 an hour. And you're like, well, it's costing you 60 when you do the math.
They're almost always shocked. And you have to do it again for them.
Pissed. They go through the stages of mourning where there's like shock, then they're mad, then, and it's fun to just sit there and watch them.
Yeah. And you can almost set a clock to it, like how it all works. So I've never asked you this before. I'm just kind of curious what your thought is, but truck is one of the ones that kind of reminds or makes me think about this. What do you think for, in certain parts of truck and maybe even car too? I'm thinking of like Jag Land Rover specifically. What are your thoughts on literal like straight time billing? Like, so truck comes in and we start with a budget of $1,200 and then this is how much labor that gets them. And then the tech clock's on and off. And then when they're done with the job, that's what the customer pays.
Well, you would have varying degrees of ethics. And so you'd have varying degrees of customer experience. And in an industry where we don't always have the greatest reputation, I wouldn't, if a guy takes twice as long to do something and then a customer sees a bill for something that should be $200 and now all of a sudden it's $400 or $600, it's not the best thing for the consumer. It's not fair to the consumer.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there was an accountability member with technology that we could try to bridge that gap a little bit, because a lot of it used to be on blind faith, but we're getting to a point now where you could even send a customer a message saying, hey, your truck or your vehicle is being worked on right now, and they're literal about the clocking on and off of it. But there's a lot of trust and accountability too.
So my opinion, and I would love in comments for you guys to put yours, but my opinion is I would rather pay technicians more per hour. So let's say we got techs making 50 or 60. We heard one the other day where techs are making $80 an hour. I would rather have techs making $60 or $80 an hour in relation to what we're billing than pay them $80 an hour to be inefficient, because techs that are inefficient, that aren't tied to the production, have more comebacks. They care less about the outcome and the quality, and they don't, at the end of the day, have any vested interest in the company succeeding or not. So if technicians are worth more, let's pay them more, but let's reward the behavior that makes us all win in the end.
Yeah.
Because the technicians are going to do better if the company's healthy. We're going to be able to hire more people. We're going to be able to spend more money on resources that benefit the customers. So I think we should pay techs more per hour, but reward production and, quality in a sense.
Yeah, I think the quality and the speed are my two.
I've never found a correlation between hourly and quality. I've found way more of a correlation between technicians that are driven to produce and quality, because they, don't want to do things twice.
Yeah, the comeback's painful.
Yeah.
because they look at it as opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, so moving into this building has been kind of interesting, and I remember, you know, Monday night before we came in for our first day, Patricia's like, you know, you're in the office every day, and you really, you know, you're the security guard kind of, so you need to watch The Office. I'm on season 4. Two people just got that.
Kind of loose.
It's okay.
It was loose. It's a long stretch. Like, you know, did you ever watch Inspector Gadget?
Oh
It
yeah.
had the arm that would go all the way out. Go Gadget arm.
Yep.
That was a stretch.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. And really, it's
As
how
long
I
as-
feel about it,
yeah,
not
as
how
long
you
as-
feel about
As
it.
long as you laugh. It's good. Cool. Well, that was a fun debate. I like it. Welcome everybody to the new building. Lots of exciting things are going to come out of here. It's going to be really fun. You know, tip of the hat to our team too for making the transition, and
They've done some amazing things.
it's good. And that's it. And we'll see you next time on Service Drive Revolution. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Service Drive Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.